There's a coastline on the southeast of Mexico that frames the country with the whitest sand and the sparkliest turquoise sea. It is infused with the rich history of a powerful civilization that left unique vestiges that attest to their wisdom and appreciation of their sumptuous ecosystem. It is in this area where time stops, that the salty breeze tells you of a time when man was in perfect tune with the earth, its animal inhabitants, and its mysterious skies and reliable seasons. This is the Mayan Riviera. I could go on and on if I speak into detail of what the Mayan civilization represents for my country and for the whole world. I'm sure that wherever you live, you've heard of them, especially in the year 2012. I remember being very young and learning about them from books and museums, and then landing all that knowledge by visiting the ground where these powerful people settled. It was an out-of-this-world experience, and every year that I visited, the more I learned, the more fascinated I became. Now I live here, and it is still a thrilling experience to continue learning about all the scientific contributions that the Mayan left for the future generations. So along the setup, I will be sharing some interesting facts. For the cover, I decided to use Mayan hieroglyphics. There is this really cool website where you can enter a specific date and it will show you the Mayan symbols to represent it. So here I am depicting August 1st, 2024. And to do this, I printed the symbols, colored all the back with a soft pencil, and then flipped it, used some washi tape to keep it from moving, and retraced all the lines. It definitely took some time, but I really loved the end result. The best part was that as I drew these ancient markings, I couldn't help but travel back in time and try to imagine what the Mayans were thinking, or why would they use certain animals, vegetables, or faces to come up with those symbols and communicate. The Mayan possessed one of the greatest civilizations from 200 to 900 before Christ, when they mysteriously abandoned their cities. It is believed that it was because of a severe drought. The area they lived in encompassed the Yucatan Peninsula down to Belize and Guatemala. Though they were one culture, they had different settlements, and they fought against neighboring cities with the intention of taking away their resources and subjecting them to their interests. That is why, originally, the war between Mayan cities was understood as a ritual struggle that had some limits, so they never became one united people. Aside of being warriors, they practiced agriculture, built great stone buildings and pyramid temples, worked gold and copper, used a unique form of hieroglyphic writing, and developed a highly sophisticated calendarical and astronomical systems. They began to build ceremonial centers, and by 200 CE, this had developed into cities containing temples, pyramids, palaces, courts for playing ball, and plazas. At its height, Mayan civilization consisted of more than 40 cities, each with a population between 5,000 and 50,000. During the post-classic period, from 900 to 1519, cities such as Chichen Itza, Uxmal, and Mayapan in the Yucatan Peninsula continued to flourish for several centuries after the great lowland cities had become depopulated. By the time the Spaniards conquered the area in the early 16th century, most of the Maya had become village-dwelling agriculturists who practiced the religious rites of their ancestors. You might already know that I love using that gold metallic watercolor, but for this theme it was especially important because for the Mayans, gold was a symbol of the divine. They viewed it as a gift from the gods, and it was used in almost every aspect of Mayan tradition. A brief parenthesis here for the word of the month. This year, I wrote down several words that I wanted to implement or work at each month. Then I randomly selected one, and for August, it's confidence. I love looking up the different meanings and trying to focus on developing whichever part I need in my life. I also have to mention here that the inks that I am using are from Monarca Stationery, a Mexican brand inspired by the beautiful landscapes of Mexico, and I quote, that seeks to fill you with nostalgia for the land where you were born in, or give you the enthusiasm to visit and explore our country. This particular ink is called Jaguar King, and it is the most beautiful ochre with very fine golden sparks. Painting with it is such a delight that this is the second jaguar that I paint in this style, and I love it. For the Mayans, Balam, which is the Mayan word for jaguar, is considered a sacred animal for its great qualities. According to some legends, this feline gave his strength to different Mayan deities, including the god of the sun. Since the jaguar is a nocturnal animal, the Mayans related it to the underworld and a night sun as well, to chaos and disorder. In addition, they considered it a symbol of power, of life, and fertility. It was for them the source from which kings and nobles descended. All the qualities of the jaguar led him to be present in many places of the Mayan culture, not only for its strength, vigor, and agility, but also for its beauty and elegance. His mottled skin, and this is a fact that I love, for some represents the starry night, and it serves as power clothing. Fast forward to the modern era, systematic explorations of Mayan sites were first undertaken in the 1800s, and a small portion of the writing system was deciphered in the early and mid-20th century. Those discoveries shed some light on Mayan religion, which was based on a pantheon of nature gods, including those of the sun, the moon, rain, and corn. A priestly class was responsible for an elaborate cycle of rituals and ceremonies. And closely related to Mayan religion, indeed inextricable from it, was the impressive development of mathematics and astronomy. In mathematics, positional notation and the use of the zero represented a pinnacle of intellectual achievement. Mayan astronomy underlaid a complex calendarical system involving an accurately determined solar year, a sacred calendar of 260 days, and a variety of longer cycles, culminating in the long count, a continuous marking of time based on a zero date in 3113 BCE. Mayan astronomers compiled precise tables of positions for the moon and Venus and were able to accurately predict solar eclipses. All of these are just a few examples of the culture that continues to fascinate generations. I hope that this theme inspires you to learn more about the people that left us with an abundant legacy in science and art. And if you can't visit the Riviera Maya, that you are also excited to learn as much as you can. For now, I will leave you to the background music as I finish the rest of the setup. And here's the final flip through. I cannot tell you how much I loved putting this theme together. It speaks to my heart and soul because of the timeless quality of its essence. I hope that this theme inspires you to learn more about your own culture, about the history of the ground that you step on every day, and the beneficial impact that the past can have on us once we learn from it. If you have been supporting my channel for a while, I want to thank you for all the lovely comments and the positive feedback. And if you have not, subscribe to follow my journaling journey. And as usual, thank you so much for watching.